Yeah, guys, there's not much more I can do about this deck. I just explain this in chat quickly. Hopefully it's going to back away now that we have the extra game sounds and stuff in. It's usually kind of helps, so it should be better. Hopefully now. Hopefully it's a bit better. If not, I'm actually really not sure what else I can do to fix it, honestly. I'm not going to lie. It's a weird issue. It's an issue that Expert has had forever. Anyways, with that said, let's go in game and see what happens. To the bottom right hand side, our red Terran player is Team Liquid's uThermal. And again, remember that both these players are qualified now for the WardiTV Invitational number 3. uThermal was actually in the finals of the Invitational number 2 and lost to Raynor, I'd like to say. No, that's not true. No, I think that is true. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Anyways, in the top left-hand side, our Blue Zerg player, he's in the finals of one of their Christmas Invitational, Invitational 2. Top left-hand side is Namshar, the Blue Zerg. I'm here because of Rifkin, says Chuck Planks. Well, hello and welcome. Don't know what Rifkin did to make you come here, but I'm glad you have arrived on the channel. Welcome. I hope you're having a good time. Glad to have you with me here today at Chuck Planks. Plants? Planks. What's even the difference between a plank and a plant? Okay, quite a bit. Again, guys, what's up? We are getting into this game number 1 grand final today of this WardiTV Invitational number 3 qualifier. Number 1. We're back with qualifier number 2 tomorrow, so if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, it's going to be more of the same tomorrow. So looking forward to that as we do see this Reaper popping out, and uThermal heading across the map to apply some pressure. We just saw him play a mixture of mech and bio throughout the games against Guru in the semi-finals, so we'll see what he can come up with here against Namshar to to create something similar, I imagine. Reaper coming up to the upper left-hand side, and we'll just be approaching in towards the natural and then the main base in a moment or two. And we are going to be seeing the first Reaper when goes down, but doesn't do too much, as we are going to be seeing a little bit of backwards and forwards here between the players. Obviously, very standard stuff so far. Kind of eyes on uThermal, I think, at this stage, trying to see what he's going to get up to. What is his build order going to be? What is he going to go for in this game, for example? Those little bits and pieces. So, yeah, waiting to see what his build's going to be, because at this stage of the game, it usually is the Terran player that kind of makes the game more interesting or dictates the pacing of the game rather than the Zerg, unless we see something like a very fast lair. But someone like Namshar, I feel he likes to play the more macro-focused games a lot of the time. I don't think we're going to be seeing the fast lair and all-in or anything like that in the immediate future. So Reaper moving around a little bit here. And we do see as link speed finishes up, the starport is about to finish up itself. And we'll be able to maybe just jump on down towards that tech lab. That'd be nice. Starport jumps onto the tech lab here. And again, a couple of Hellions just at the front already. This Reaper from uThermal is heading off across to the left-hand side. And we just continue to get set up and rolling. Queen's actually able to shut down a very quick Reaper there, so able to just get that kill nice and easily. As we do see extra barracks being added, so we are going to be seeing a bio play. As the starport comes up with a Banshee, probably just a single Banshee for defensive purposes, just in case, but I mean, especially with that cloak, it'd be very weird to see a second Banshee. I wonder what we see going where. Starport's probably going to lift off. And it does make a reactor up top. Factory's making a reactor. I guess we see this barracks onto this reactor and this factory onto the tech lab to get siege tank production and more marines. Overlord flying forwards, and we are going to see those marines able to take that down. We'll follow this Banshee to see if he can do some damage. As Namshar not being aggressive with roaches or anything, not much need for the Banshee defensively. Soy in the chat asking, how can it be an invitational if there are qualifiers? Because it's mostly an invitational. There's 20 players in total, and there are 16 invites and 4 qualified players. So while it's mostly an invitational, I still like the idea of having some players along to take part in some fun games, and allowing everyone the chance to play rather than just the people I invite. So we have some qualifiers, which make up 4 out of 20 slots. It's like 20% of the slots. It's mostly an invitational, so it's just a name. Hopefully it's okay chances for you though. I know it sounds weird because it is just a name, but it doesn't really make sense. But when you kind of realize that only some of the players get to qualify, most of them invited, I think it's alright. The Queen's picking up a Banshee though. We are going to be seeing the creep just spreading out. I mean, obviously so far uThermal not doing much to deny creep. Even the Hellenes have just sort of stayed at home for now for uThermal. We'll be seeing this Orbital Command moving into position on the third base, so getting ready to drop this down here, and we are going to be seeing Step Pack is very close to finishing up as well. +1 attack on the engineering base, obviously +1 armor should not be too far behind it. Generally 1-1 upgrades start at the same time, so uThermal probably just didn't have the gas on the minerals when he started +1 attack, and hopefully he has realised that he doesn't have +1 armor starting, because it's kind of sad for him to just fall behind for something like that. You know, it's not what you really want to see happening in games at this sort of level, so nobody's going to be able to fix that up and get that sorted out here. As Marines dropping into the main base, the first real pressure here from our Terran as he takes down the Overlord, and now he's going to get rid of the Spore Crawler. As he gets rid of the Spore, something's come in, but uThermal doesn't even lose more than 1 Marine, so nicely done so far. Drops down to the 4th base, and you can just be so annoying with drops on this map, but that's where this Queen count comes in, and that's going to be 1 dead medevac, and uThermal now going to have to be a little bit more cautious with the other one if he wants to keep it on the map at all. Factory, a couple of racks. Love the positioning here, by the way. What he's done is he's got a bit of a wall on this side. He's got a bit of a wall here for the, kind of the racks in the factory. He's still got a pathway through, but it does kind of wall off the important areas. So if an attack comes in, initially, you know, this wall stops Baneling bursts through into the mineral liners easily. And this wall here, you can basically back away from a larger fight and hide behind it, which is kind of cool. We are going to see now, though, uThermal going for this little bit of an attack, which is very popular here on Acid Plant. It's very powerful as well. The single tank behind the rocks allows him to kind of stim forwards and to apply some pressure with the tank support. It's actually able to do a surprising amount as the double Liberator kills 6 drones so quickly on the 3rd base. Queen's continuing to fight here. This position is annoying. It's sometimes the reason why we see the players expanding here instead. Although even expanding here, there's still sort of a high ground position you can use. As you see now, 7-8 drones going down as these Liberators are just playing dodge and duke and jive with the drones and the Spore Crawler. But this base as well is also very easy to push forwards into from these set of rocks here, from the 3rd base of the Terran. So it's, you know, there's multiple reasons why you do still take this base, even though this is a common attack that Terran players go for that is frustrating to deal with. This Liberator is going to go down before it sieges up once more, and this Liberator here is actually going to just not get that Queen in the end. So very close though. There's some Lings and Banes coming off over to the left-hand side. We have got 10 drones killed here with this aggression, but it did cost uThermal a couple of Liberators. Yeah, I mean, not bad though, right? Because they also killed a lot of mining time. Look at that income graph. Yes, this is only a spike, but it is a long time where Namshar lost a lot of his mining. And while it kind of normalizes now as his worker count comes back up and his drones get back to mining, it still helps him along the way. Marines here, fighting and continuing to attack on in, as we're going to be seeing some Marines and Hellbats in the middle of the map having a pretty good time. He's going to try and protect the siege tank there, but I think it's just time for him to back away. He doesn't have many medevacts with this, so it's kind of risky for him to actually look for a larger fight, but he's actually kind of going for it. There's the reinforcements. Tanks, medevacs, Marines, everything he needs to continue fighting. Here's Namshar already going up in towards the hive tech now. His natural expansion is going to be obviously a key tech structure for this game. As we're going to be seeing, ooh, the tank's a little bit late to sieging. They siege very far forward, but you can actually use them to quite literally tank some of the Baneling shots. While the tanks go down, it costs a lot of Banelings, and the Marine count is barely kind of slowed down at all, which maybe gives uThermal the possibility to keep pushing forwards and to get more damage done. A tank siege in here once again as he's going to push in towards this 4th base. Queen's already under fire. You forced to use a lot of their transfusions, pulls away from those Banelings on the left-hand side. Good splits, uThermal, minimizing the damage taken here. Now, coming forwards again, another few Banes coming in, but he's able to get rid of most of them, and the Marine count is just terrifying. With tank support, uThermal is starting to push his way through into this 4th base, and now the units of the Queens are going down, and this is not looking pretty. As units spawn, the tank fire is getting rid of them, and the 4th hatchery is broken. uThermal looking very good here in game number 1. So uThermal looking fantastic so far. The hatchery will go down. The Lings are going to continue to target. There's the GG from Namshar. uThermal just breaks his way through this. He dropped a couple of scans in the main base there. 400 mil. I think that's what it suggests. Like 1 spoon, which is like a serving, goes into like 400 milliliters. Obviously, you can make it a little bit weaker if you would like, if you want to weaken out the taste or water it down, but I think that's about good. I think it tastes pretty normal. Like, it tastes how I want it to, I feel like. You know, the flavor's there with that sort of mix, so yeah, it's just the suggested amount. Anyways, me kicking this off and seeing what's happening in game number 2 of this best of 3. To the top left hand side on Abiogenesis, our red Terran player up 1-0 is uThermal. And to the bottom right hand side, the blue Zerg is Namshar. Whereas Zag retaking the second spot on the bit board with the Cheer 500 as well. Again, appreciate the $5 and the 500 bits, guys. See some love in the chat for the people showing some love to the stream. Yeah, we're going to the lakes next weekend. You should pop by. We're going to Keswick? I don't know how to say it. It's gonna be me, Risky, Mythic, a couple of the other UK lads. It's gonna be pretty sick, I think. I don't know why we're going. Apparently we're just going to... I actually have absolutely no idea why we're going, but... yeah, we're going to the lakes, boys. Who knows? Who knows? Well, this Reaper is harassing those first few Zerglings, of course, and uThermal. I'm intrigued to see the build specifically for Abiogenesis, because obviously this is the craziest map in the map pool right now. It's a map which is very small, it's very aggressive. Any sort of aggression hits so quickly once it leaves your own base. And already here, Namshar has not started link speed right away. Now, if that's just because he's been distracted by the Reaper, I don't know. I would imagine not, because Namshar is generally too good to just let a Reaper distraction kind of mess up his build order. And he starts up an Evo chamber, which is obviously looking as though maybe he goes into something like Carapace and a Roach Ling attack later on. uThermal playing aggressive himself. 2 Cyclones on the way early rather than Hellions. He had the CC on the high ground. So yeah, already you can see just the differences that are coming through because we're playing on Abiogenesis rather than a more standardized map. We are going to be seeing the Roach Roaring drops and the Evo Chamber finish, maybe just a missile upgrade then right away, as Namshar is also going to throw down the lair. Obviously something that can be very powerful here, something like a +1 Roach speed timing, because again, you move out the base and you're going to hit so quickly, but if uThermal kind of sets up defensively from the get-go with a lot of tanks, etc., that could be pretty powerful. Armory is about halfway done. The starport starts up in the main base. And we are going to be seeing the Hellion is just going to be moving across with a couple of Cyclones arriving. The actual SEV or 2 coming forwards. It's a tough moment for Namshar, whose Roach production is only just now able to begin. He's actually got a few of them on the way, but he's got to survive so long against these Cyclones until they're ready. He goes for the SEV with the Queens. He will just not quite get it, but he did have a transfuse to keep his Queens alive. Good target fire, gets the SEV this time around, and gets the Reaper kill now if the Ling's moving forward. It's actually really good control out of Namshar. Look at that Queen, so low at the back, but being kept alive, and again, transfuse comes down to save the day. Really good control, just now loses a Queen. And as the Roaches arrive, I really feel like this could not have gone much better for Namshar. Wow. He lost, what, a Queen and a few Zerglings? And uThermal, okay, he retains these Cyclones, and that's very important for him because keeping the Cyclones alive really powers up further defenses and further attacks. But my gosh, that was kind of crazy. Wow, that was some really sick micro between both of them there. There's going to be seeing some SCVs coming off this mineral line. Starting to repair up this first Cyclone, the second Cyclone as well. In the next few moments we'll get some love as well. And we're just going to be seeing the missile upgrade and the Roach speed coming through. And we do see the Cloak coming up in the Banshee on the way out. A third hatchery from Namshar is very late, remember. He took this late because, again, he's probably expecting more aggressive sort of attacks. And so he sets up here nice and defensively. So yeah, it's a very weird game so far because it is Abiogenesis. Now you have Banshees coming out at +1 vehicle weapons on the armory, which obviously came in earlier to allow Hellbats. And I guess we see maybe, I mean it's weird because it's just one factory, right? So usually in this sort of scenario, if it's Hellion Cyclone, you'd see double factory, but it's kind of like just more Hellions into Banshees, so it's kind of normalizing. Hellions die for damage. Roaches are nearby, so the damage is going to be limited, and 5 workers. 7 is actually a lot better. Now 8. Wow. Oh my god, this Hellion gets one more shot. 11. Oh my god, this Hellion went huge at the end there. 11 workers killed. I mean, initially I was like 5 workers. Okay, I think that's fine, and I think it's fine for uThermal because, you know, he's going to keep making Hellions. 11 workers? That's the sort of damage that... I mean, it was just one Hellion at the end as well. Put it up from like 6 to 11. Oh my god. And that's so much damage done. Now Namshar trails in the work account as uThermal sets up into a 3rd CC. Again, uThermal's looking good defensively because he's got Banshees, he's got Cyclones. It's very difficult for Namshar to do a bunch of damage with this attack, I feel. I mean, you can see it already. He's maybe going to try and target down the CC. It's going to cost him so many units, and if he loses too many of these roaches in the process, counterattacks will become so powerful. These roaches continue to fall as we see Namshar being chased back home, and uThermal, maybe he's just picked up enough kills already to just say, you know what, cool, this is going well for me. +1 of weapons is about to finish. Cyclones attack so quickly that the benefit from +1s as they attack 10 times per second is absolutely huge. The damage output increase is just insane, so Cyclones right now are going to get ready to attack on in, and with a couple of Banshees supporting, this could be very dangerous. Although roaches have speed and they will start to come forwards for the fight. At first, roach absolutely melts very quickly, but now getting on top of the Cyclones makes it a bit more difficult. The Banshees continue to come forwards. The Queens, though, have an overseer here to target them down. And the Banshees continue to drop some more Hellions wolfing into Hellbats to try and tank, but that's going to be it for now. There's Hellbat pushed away towards the top side of the map. And that is the end of this. +2 missiles and +1 Carapace continue to come on through here on the natural expansion. A third base coming up from uThermal as well on the top side. And we see that just morphing into an orbital command right from the get-go. Again, 10 more roaches coming through, +1 vehicle plating is on the way up, continuing his upgrades, and as his extra factories come down, we will be seeing mech here for game number 2. Is Namshar going to let this get to that later stage though? He's on 60 army supply against 30, his worker count isn't good, and he is looking to attack. He's moving across the map right now, and while the siege tank count is still low / non-existent, this could be one of the best possible times for Namshar to try and get something done here. There is 4 queens, and that means with the queens he can shut down the Banshee-based defense. Hellions will dive and maybe just look for eco damage, so maybe forcing a few roaches to stay at home, but again, there's just so much here anyways from Namshar. Moving towards the top side of the map, as you see these SCVs mining away on the third base, but maybe not for much longer as these roaches attack. Well, there's the lift off of the orbital. He has to move away here pretty quickly. A few more SCVs going down. Cyclone trying to get to work as we see these queens still coming through. I mean, just a 9 the third base already is nice. Roaches on the left side caught by the Banshees. It's a nice little pick off. I mean, anything you fill and get rid of here is great. He has a couple of tanks now starting to come out, but the issue is moving them into a position where they can actually be used defensively on the third base to save the day. Third base just relocating towards the frontier for now. uThermal is... Again, he's got a good work account, uThermal. As he catches that drone, that'd be great. He's actually run out of energy here, so the queens can continue to do damage, although I guess most of the queens are across the map, so the anti-air at home is actually limited. I guess the queens have to kind of gather up together from the bases. He will be able to maybe cancel a 4th and limit the Zerg play in that regard. There's Namshar still moving around over on this side in the center, trying to find a little bit more damage. And again, some Banshees down to the south as roaches and Ravagers still gathering up queens as well. Coming back towards the creep spread here, and they're going to continue to spread it forwards as well also. Banshees find themselves a little bit in the corner to do some damage in. One queen will get 1 kill. No, the Banshee dodges away. Oh, Banshee, I believe in you. And my belief works. It stays alive. It stays safe. Third CC just dropped down into position now, and so uThermal can start mining from there. As he goes for a queen kill, but doesn't quite find it. Still gets himself a few more drone kills though, and again, slowing down what was already a fairly weak economy of Namshar. You see that uThermal's had leads throughout this game in economy, and again, it's kind of getting different now because Namshar is building up to a better economy. He has a 4th base coming through, and uThermal has been denied mining from the 3rd base for a while. As that comes back up and available, the income will once again go back to being even, maybe even a bit uThermal favoured with only a 5 worker deficit here, and a set of mules available as well. uThermal, although is a bit oversaturated, he has, I guess with the gases coming up, it's pretty much perfect saturation. Namshar also setting up that 4th base, trying to get that around. We're actually getting into a bit more of a macro-focused game here on Abiogenesis. It doesn't really happen very often, I'm not going to lie. Usually the games end early because of the setup of the map, but this game, both of the players have kind of taken the precautions to get into a later stage, and they've played weird, they've played different, they've not done what we usually see. But it's allowed them to get into a good position in this later stage. And now uThermal, his mech army is building up. Namshar has to look for an answer, but he's getting the first Vipers on the way. However, uThermal's pushing across. If he can hit before Vipers are ready with energy and abducts or blind clouds, that could be an absolute game changer. Roaches, Ravagers, and Hydras are coming over to the right-hand side here a little bit. We see that Queen getting taken down as well here in the center. And we're all going to be seeing these tanks and Hellions. There's a lot of Hellions, I have to say. So while uThermal's army supply is high, it's not like it's mass tank. 30 Hellions in this army, you have to wonder how much they're going to be able to add to these engagements. They're kind of leaving the charge right now. Their splash damage is kind of insane because there's just so many of them. Oh my god, he's actually killing the roaches with Hellions right now. That's some insane damage output just because of sheer numbers. As he scans ahead, he'll clean up some of the creep spread, try and take some of the map control back away from Namshar at this stage. He has another bunch of Hydras on the way out, ready to join the fray in just a few moments. Again, the Roaches and Hydras set themselves up. Let's see what is next. Going to knock these rocks down and reduce the Hellions. Actually, the rocks being knocked down is a huge deal because it's slowing down Namshar's ability to come in and join this fight all up together. A blinding cloud on Hellbats and also on the tanks in the back is huge. The Hellbats actually got messed up quite a bit by that. A couple of tanks are out of blinding cloud range, and now as the blinding cloud fades away, uThermal has found himself in a position where he's actually going to be able to get rid of the 4th base here. uThermal takes this down, and that is, well, I mean, that's a kill on the 4th. That's huge. You've seen those few drones here. I mean, there's one Hellion that's always going to take to chase those down. Wow, uThermal is in a position now where he's actually in a very strong point. He's killed off the 4th base. There's another base down to the south, but he got the drones. And without the drones, Namshar has to re-drone this base to actually get that economy back. Compared to a lot of games where if you just give up the 4th right away, the drones can pull away to that other base already. Again, a couple of abducts forwards. That's nice to get rid of some siege tanks here, but more tanks are sieged up, and again, those Hydras are taking some heavy hits every time they try to engage, even with the help of the abducts. uThermal's relocating himself now to try and push in from a different location. Some tanks pushing up into the high ground even, really starting to choke Namshar out and forcing fights a little bit faster. Again, the abducts are very good here initially, and there isn't the tanks, the rest of the tanks aren't in range to sort of support this, I guess. And so the Hydras don't take as many losses, although the Hellbats and Cyclones still get something done. Poor drones, they're meant to come back this way. Again, the Corrosive Bile actually hits a Hellion there. Somehow the tanks managed to dodge out. The Vipers are looking for more energy once again. Consuming over in the main. The Viking count is good though. If you get the Vikings ahead of the army and hit down a Viper or two before they drop their blinding clouds, that could of course be absolutely key to successful fight here from the Terran player. And here we go, the Vipers are going to get a couple of abducts down, but this time it costs him. He's going to lose 2 of the 3 Vipers. He loses all 3 of them. And losing all 3 could make the difference in this again. Again, the abducts were nice, but this time now he has to rebuild the Vipers before he can get more abducts. And I'm not sure if Namshar's in the position to do that. He's setting up a huge concave. He's looking to attack in from every angle possible to try and make this a cleanup that will be successful. And here we go. From the left and right, it's a huge push in from Namshar, but there's just not the supporting units here necessarily to make this work out for him. The Vikings will land smart, Cerberus speeds that up, and it means he can fight and just join in extra damage output. uThermal takes first place in this event.